Celebrity Hotline. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, Joeseph Huggins will join me, and he is filming live right now in the Man Cave down here in Armed Radio Global Studios. Also, I'd like to have a shout-out to my new producer and marketing manager, bringing on board. She's not here today, but she was here last week. You got to know a little bit about her, Miss Frankie Calais. She's listening in, and she'll be coming on. She might call in after the break. When we have Joe Huggins on, we're going to talk about his quest to find his birth parents. And I'm really excited about him coming on here because I'm adopted. So we'll come back right after these messages. I'm Mike Allen. This is the Armed Radio Global Network. And you, well, you're on the air.
Hi, now I know you hear Joe Rocks and the Dog on their weekly restaurant reviews on Night Talk, 10 p.m. Eastern. And boy, these two like to eat. Right, boys? Well, here's something to review right from your house. Eat24. That's right, Eat24.com. With over 25,000 restaurants for you to choose from when you're hungry. Many in your area. So review that, boys. Eat24.com. Click, order, and eat. Eat24.com.
The small city of Rockton, Illinois, is stunned by the brutal and senseless murder of an entire family, leaving only the father to pick up the pieces of his shattered life. Two rookie detectives are at odds, but before they get a chance to stop him, the killer strikes again. Will Detective Max Larkin and Detective Jesse Fairlane put their personal differences aside so they can stop the killer from striking again? Find out in the new suspense thriller, Time Killer, from author Todd M. Thede. Available in hardcover, softcover, and Kindle at Amazon.com.
There is nothing in this world that can make or break your day like a comfortable pair of shoes. And if you're a woman like me, then the perfect shoes are as seductive as the perfect full-bodied wine coupled with a smooth, dark Belgian chocolate. Or a steaming hot bubble bath at the end of a long day. Let's be real, ladies. The perfect pair of shoes can even be better than spine-tingling, bone-melting, body-shivering. Well, you know what I mean. So, where do you get your perfect pair of shoes? Savvy Souls, where chic meets comfort at the intersection of satisfaction, swank, and trendy. Go to www.forsavvysouls.com for 50 to 70% off on the latest spring styles, or find them on Facebook today.
Savino Wine Preservation System is wine preservation glassware. Savino is an easy-to-use wine preservation system that allows you to enjoy your favorite wines anytime without waiting for an occasion. Open any bottle with confidence, knowing that you can enjoy the full original flavor of Tuesday's wine on Saturday. For more information, visit us at www.savinowine.com. Today's wine, tomorrow.
Your search for love and companionship ends here. Join now at TalkToSingles.com for free. It's a new, high-quality, internet-based personal dating service that allows single men and single women to meet and engage in electronic conversation in the safety and comfort of their home computer. It's a dedicated team providing online dating services for successful matchmaking. Join today absolutely for free and start connecting with singles in your area now. And check out the Android app. Go to TalkToSingles.com. That's singles.com.
I bust a shot on them. And one. For real though, I'm trying to see what that thing do.
What up, this your boy Majesty the God. Make sure you go pick up the hottest single that's out right now. All systems go on iTunes and Google Play. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Majesty DAGOD 80 Entertainment. We in here.
All I need in my life is a stay ready, all systems on go. Take a hit, then I pass it to the bro. Oh, shit.
All right, welcome back to the show. Today's broadcast brought to you in part by Eat24.com. Put your zip code in the Eat24.com app. They will find a restaurant near you that delivers, and they'll bring food right to your front doors, like having a food truck in your pants. Also, Sweet and Cheesy, brand new sponsor here on Armed Radio. They're right between Round Rock and Hutto in beautiful Central Texas now that it's raining and everything's green. They've got great sandwiches, gourmet sandwiches, shaved ice with real juice, real fresh squeezed juice, and it's absolutely awesome. So check them out. Also, Ring Central is responsible for our celebrity hotlines tonight. Thank you to them. Also, a great sponsor of Armed Radio Global. Well, welcome back to the show. I met this young gentleman through my son, actually, and I have a similar background. I'm adopted. So, and I was intrigued by his story. He's out looking for his birth parents. As he had said to me, he knows 27 chapters of his life. He'd like to know about the first 4. The first 5 pages.
The first 5 pages.
So please welcome to On the Air, Mr. Joe Huggins. Welcome, sir.
Now?
So tell us a little bit about what you're doing. Now? Tell us your story.
Oh, yeah.
How'd you get to this point?
Let me, I guess I got to start all the way back at the beginning, because that's kind of where it starts, I guess.
Well, you came out naked and screaming.
Yeah, of course. A full fro like I have right now, and beard, and born with a beard and hairy chest.
Well, there you go.
The rumors are true. The rumors are true. Born with a silver fro on his head. I was adopted when I was a month old out of Shelby County, Memphis, Tennessee. As far as I know, my mom was about 13 or 14 when she had me and put me up for adoption. And the Huggins family, who lived on the other side of Memphis, adopted me when I was a month old. We moved to Cheyenne, Wyoming, because my dad was working for Conoco at the time.
Oh, nice.
Do not remember it. I'm sure it's pretty, but I'm kind of glad that we got out and moved to Dallas, Texas when I was 2, and I lived there till I was 21, and then I moved to Austin, and I've been here for about 6 years now.
All right, so your mom, obviously a teen pregnancy.
Yes, teen pregnancy, so it is a closed adoption. So it's kind of, to give you a better understanding of my family too, I have 3 sisters. My oldest sister, Kathy, is from my dad's first marriage. Mm-hmm. My mom was wife number 2. That is his biological daughter. Then he married my mother. Then they adopted 3 kids. There's Sarah, who's the oldest. Then there's Rachel. She's in the middle. She actually just met her biological mother, tracked her down on Facebook. Her adoption wasn't closed, so my mother knew information about it. She's also handicapped, has spinal bifida as well. Mm-hmm. Great. Sister Rachel's awesome. And then I'm the youngest, and I was raised by a split household. Parents got divorced when I was about 5 or 6, if I remember correctly, and was raised in a split household by a bunch of older white girls. It was definitely interesting. In the suburbs of Dallas, so it was not Monday Night Football. It was Sex and the City night, or Dharma and Greg, or Gilmore Girls, or One Tree Hill. It's definitely an interesting environment, but I loved it. It was definitely awesome. And that's kind of where I come
Plus, you
from.
had 3 older sisters you had to protect, so you're tough.
I didn't really have to protect them too much. Kathy was older than us by the time my parents got together. She was basically starting college. My dad's old school. He's in his 70s, older, white-haired, engineer, gentleman. So he's seen a lot, knows a lot, done a lot, and would love to tell you about it and tell you, which I love him for. I love him for it, though.
He's got some great stories.
He keeps me grounded. He's seen so much that there's he's seen it all, heard it all. So he's just like, no. Son, I graduated high school in 1961. Let me tell you a little something. I'm like, okay, Dad.
About the 60s.
Yeah, but he does not know how to text message, so that's interesting.
It's kind of like my dad.
Your name popped up on my phone. I got scared, so I called you. I was like, Dad, I just texted you to say that I love you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So, outside of the fact that you knew that your mother was a teenage pregnancy,
yes.
Obviously unplanned.
Yes, I would go on a limb and say yeah.
And like you, or like me, it was, I call it an aborted abortion.
Yeah, I'm a store-bought baby.
There you go, which is another argument. I mean, the pro-abortion advocates are like, well, it's an unwanted baby. Well, it'll starve. Well, it'll do that. Well, you and I are living proof that that's not always
the case. Not the case. That's not always the case.
Because you had a great, loving family.
Yes.
So did I.
Yes.
And my parents are Barry and Jeanette. I don't see anybody else as my parents.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do you hope to now? Do you want to actually meet your mother, or is it just more of a? I know with me, it was just I just wanted to know a little. Maybe see a picture and just kind of find out a little bit about the circumstances. And it really didn't matter to me. I didn't want anything from my birth dad or mother.
Right.
I was just curious. Is that kind of what's driving you?
I mean, I guess I had the pretty bad accident about 3 years ago, which kind of changed things around for me. And I guess being raised in the suburbs, I am African American, in case you don't know. So I was raised by 3 older white women in an all-white dominant suburb. Loved it, loved every second of it, but I always grew up being a very big individual, and from a very young age it was always explained to me how I was different, or you go to the counselor's office during class and they make you read adoption books. So it was very apparent that I was adopted, and I guess it sounds kind of almost...
So well, with you it's obvious, because you're in a white family, you're black. For me it wasn't so obvious.
The only boy, and I was the only boy as well.
I went from a white family to a white family.
Okay.
So, but it was also explained to me very young that I was adopted. So I didn't grow up with any stigma with it. It wasn't a big surprise.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
I mean, sooner or later they were going to have to explain how I'm 6'1". And when I was in school, 6'1", 220, 230 pounds, and my dad's 5'8", and bald. So I kind of would have figured it out sooner or later anyway. But so, like me, you knew it from the beginning.
It was explained to me. I was totally okay with it, and also had I grew up in a household with 2 older adopted siblings as well. So all 3 of us are adopted. So it was explained to us constantly that we were adopted. We were totally okay with it. It was never a real big mystery.
It was never a thing.
Yeah, it was never a real big mystery. I wasn't 10 and confused why everybody at the table was different, and I had an afro, and I wasn't maybe I'm adopted. It was pretty apparent.
Why am I? Yeah, exactly. And that's just if anybody's listening out there who's an adoptive parent, that's my suggestion. As soon as your son or daughter is old, from the beginning, just make it a fact that they're special and they're adopted and you love them and you're their parents.
Yeah,
it'll definitely. I think it's better. I think it's better when kids learn at a very young age, when they really don't quite understand it, but they know what it is, so they can grow into it.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's not a shock.
Yeah, and also being so drastically different. Just besides being adopted, I had a sister that was a couple grades above me. One of my sisters was in my grade, so I also grew up explaining it. We would get off the bus, walk to the same house, have the same last name. Kids are real innocent, so they'd ask questions like, "Oh, that's not your sister, is it?" And you'd be like, "Yeah, it is. I'm adopted." And being a kid would just blindly be like, "This is my life story, and let me tell you about everything that goes on in my household."
Take a knee.
Yeah, please sit down, son. Let me tell you.
Grab some water.
Yeah, listen to the old man.
This will take a while. Yeah. Well, very cool. So, what have you accomplished? Now, I know with me, I just one day, just on a whim, I was sitting in front of my computer, which I usually do, and just typed in my information. I actually just Googled adoption. And typed in my information in a webpage and just forgot about it, really. And my birth dad actually contacted me off the website. So what have you done to reach out or try to find your birth mother? I know it's a closed adoption. Mine was a closed adoption, too. So that's why. What avenues or what tools are you using to...
Well, basically right now, so what I'm doing is I leave Saturday, just to kind of explain the whole project. Mm-hmm. We leave Saturday. We're going to go to California. I'm going to kind of... To give people a better insight of who I am, I'm going to do a video blog where I go see my dad, my mom, my adoptive family. Show my sisters, my cousins, my nephew. Show everybody so everybody kind of has an understanding of where I grew up, who I am as a person. Then the documentary is going to be me driving to Memphis. I have a lawyer who's helping me out with the costs and fees to open up my adoption. I want to go see the hospital I was born at. Try to go see the households that my parents grew up in, kind of survey the area of Memphis, which I'm pretty sure is not that great of an area right now. And then I'm also going to show the area that I grew up in. I guess I'm trying to just trying to meet my mom, trying to meet my dad. It's one of these things where I've always had a mystery. There's always been a question mark. And I kind of put it on the wayside. I was, like I said, explaining myself a lot as a kid, constantly talking about it, trying to give people insight on what went on in my household and with my adoption and my parents. So I never really thought about it when I got older. I got in a really, really bad bicycle accident. Was riding my bicycle in the bike lane and on Anderson up north,